So for a while now, there's been an ongoing discussion about why my generation, why millennials, are not in church. And today I'd like to discuss that by taking a look at one of my favorite movies. Of the numerous classic moments that happen in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, there is one that got me really thinking this last week. And it's the part where the movie plays with the Black Death that went around Europe during the Dark Ages and killed a huge percentage of the world's population. In the scene, there's a cart going around that is stacked with bodies of plague victims, and there's a man off to the side yelling, "Bring out your dead!" Trust me, despite how it sounds, it's actually a really funny scene. Well, as the cart's going along, a man comes out from his home with a body on his shoulder. As he goes to place the body begins to yell, "I'm not dead!" And then the whole thing starts a conversation between the man by the cart, the man with the body on his shoulder, and the man who is believed to be a body. That scene got me thinking about church. And in particular, I mean the American way of going to church on Sunday morning. Now, I grew up going to church. In high school, I started going completely on my own. In college, I started going to different styles of worship and different types of churches. I've been to both mega churches and small country rural churches. So despite the fact that many would consider me numerically young, I would like to think that I'm not really new at this church game in America. And I've been listening to the ongoing discussion here lately about why my generation in particular isn't going to church on Sunday morning. You see, for many in my generation, it just doesn't feel like there's actually room for us in the church. Now, to help explain this, let's think about the traditions, the habits, and the different things that we do for a Sunday morning worship service as people. So Sunday morning as the time for worship is a person. The type of music that we sing, whether they're contemporary or hymns, are people. The building that we go to, the Sunday school classes that we have, all of these things are people. So when we go to church on Sunday morning, we have all of these hypothetical people that are there worshiping with us. And we begin to feel like we can't do worship without them. Fun fact, this is exactly why you can have so few people in a worship service and still have it feel very, very crowded for a visitor. And with how crowded the church is, I began to wonder whether or not the church would benefit from having a good plague. I mean, do you think that it's possible that the American church would benefit from having a lot of these hypothetical people die off? Let me ask that in a different way. Did you know that you can worship God Friday morning, Wednesday evening, or like Monday at 2 a.m. instead of just Sunday at 10 a.m.? Did you know that you can worship God in Spanish or French or Arabic even if you don't speak the language? For example, that was the village of El Encinal in the middle of nowhere, Honduras, singing "This is the day the Lord has made." Now, I speak terrible Spanish, and I still consider that worship. Or did you know that you can worship God in your living room, in a coffee shop, at a Honduran ranch, or a Mongolian hospital instead of just a dedicated church building? Did you know that you can worship God using rock music, movie clips, and YouTube videos? Hint, hint. And to my generation, did you know that you can worship God using 4th century hymns, prayer beads, incense, wooden pews, and no multimedia whatsoever? You see, whether we realize it or not, a lot of our churches are really, really crowded on Sunday mornings. And a lot of these churches, whether old or young, are crowded with hypothetical people. So much so that a lot of new people just can't get in. And we try desperately to squeeze them into our seats and into our pews, but there just isn't room for them. So our churches continue to decline, completely unaware of why. Now, this is not a video about being rid of organized churches or how denominations are killing off American Christianity. I actually think denominations have a lot of advantages over non-denominational churches. But no church, whether denominational or non-denominational, has it 100% right yet. And almost every church is really busy about making sure that those hypothetical people show up each week. But the reality is, a church just needs to have 3 people in it. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So maybe it's time for all of us to start going around yelling, "Bring out your dad." Maybe then we'll have room for some growth. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the section below. If you have any ideas for topics that you want me to discuss, go ahead and leave those in the comments below as well. And if you're interested in following along with the videos that I put out, go ahead and subscribe. And remember, I love you and there is nothing you can do about it.